The year 1914 marked a turning point in history, the dawn of a conflict so devastating that it would forever be etched in the annals of Time World War I. This Great War, as it came to be known, shattered the fragile peace that had held Europe for decades, plunging the world into a maelstrom of unprecedented violence and destruction. For 4 long years, the major powers of the world clashed in a brutal struggle that claimed the lives of millions and redrew the map of Europe. But the war's impact extended far beyond the battlefields, leaving an enduring legacy that continues to shape the world we live in today. From the trenches of the Western Front to the far-flung battlefields of the Middle East, World War I was a conflict of unparalleled brutality and technological innovation. Machine guns, tanks, and airplanes, once novelties of warfare, became instruments of mass destruction, forever altering the nature of combat. The war also had a profound impact on the home front, transforming social structures, gender roles, and cultural values. World War I was more than just a clash of armies. It was a clash of ideologies, a struggle between the old world and the new. The war shattered empires, gave rise to new nations, and left a legacy of political instability and economic upheaval that would shape the course of the 20th century. In the aftermath of the conflict, the Treaty of Versailles, intended to secure a lasting peace, instead sowed the seeds of resentment and nationalism that would eventually lead to another world war. This essay will explore the multifaceted impact of World War I, delving into the personal experiences of those who lived through it, examining the technological advancements that transformed warfare, and analyzing the war's lasting legacy on the world stage. By understanding the causes, consequences, and enduring significance of this pivotal conflict, we can gain a deeper appreciation for the forces that have shaped our modern world. To truly grasp the impact of World War I, it is essential to look beyond the grand narratives of battles and treaties and into the faces of the individuals whose lives were forever altered by the conflict. The voices of soldiers, nurses, and civilians offer a poignant and often harrowing glimpse into the human cost of war, revealing the physical, emotional, and psychological scars left by this global cataclysm. From the mud-filled trenches of the Western Front emerged countless tales of courage, resilience, and unimaginable hardship. Soldiers on both sides endured relentless artillery bombardments, machine gun fire, and the constant threat of poison gas attacks. Life in the trenches was a grueling test of human endurance, characterized by disease, deprivation, and the ever-present specter of death. Nurses, both on the front lines and in hospitals far from the fighting, played a critical role in alleviating the suffering of wounded soldiers. These women worked tirelessly under unimaginable conditions, providing medical care, comfort, and a glimmer of hope amidst the horrors of war. Their letters and diaries offer a unique perspective on the conflict, revealing the compassion and strength they summoned in the face of unimaginable suffering. On the home front, civilians grappled with food shortages, economic hardship, and the constant fear for loved ones fighting overseas. Women, in particular, saw their roles transformed as they stepped into jobs traditionally held by men, contributing to the war effort in factories, fields, and hospitals. World War I witnessed an unprecedented fusion of technological innovation and military strategy, forever altering the face of warfare. The conflict served as a proving ground for new weapons and technologies, many of which would have a lasting impact on the nature of combat in the 20th century and beyond. The machine gun, already in existence before the war, emerged as a brutally efficient killing machine, capable of mowing down waves of attacking soldiers. Its devastating firepower contributed to the stalemate on the Western Front, where soldiers dug into trenches for protection, creating a landscape scarred by barbed wire and shell craters. The tank, another technological marvel of the war, lumbered onto the battlefield in 1916, offering a glimmer of hope for breaking the deadlock of trench warfare. These armored behemoths, armed with cannons and machine guns, could cross trenches and withstand small arms fire, providing a much-needed offensive advantage. In the skies above the trenches, a new era of aerial combat was born. Airplanes, initially used for reconnaissance, were soon outfitted with machine guns and bombs, transforming them into weapons of war. Dogfights between enemy aces captured the imagination of the public, making heroes out of pilots like Manfred von Richthofen. the Red Baron, and Eddie Rickenbacker, the American ace. Section 4. Shifting societal landscapes, women on the home front and beyond. While the battlefields of World War I were largely dominated by men, the war had a profound impact on the lives of women, both on the home front and in the war zones. The conflict challenged traditional gender roles, opening up new opportunities for women in the workforce and fueling the fight for women's suffrage. With millions of men away at war, women stepped into roles traditionally held by men, taking on jobs in factories, shipyards, and offices. They became the backbone of the war effort on the home front, producing munitions, manufacturing airplanes, and keeping essential industries running. The war effort also created new opportunities for women in nursing and medicine. Thousands of women volunteered as nurses, serving on the front lines and in hospitals, providing care for wounded soldiers. Their contributions challenged traditional notions of women's roles in society, demonstrating their courage, competence, and resilience under pressure. The war also gave new impetus to the women's suffrage movement. Suffragists argued that women, having proven their worth on the home front and in war-related industries, deserved the right to vote. Their efforts culminated in 1920, when women in the United States finally secured the right to vote with the passage of the 19th Amendment. Section 5. The Treaty's Thorns, Seeds of Discord and the Rise of Nationalism. The guns fell silent on November 11, 1918, marking the end of World War I. But the peace that followed was a fragile one, marred by the bitter legacy of the conflict and the flawed terms of the Treaty of Versailles, which aimed to settle the score of the war but instead sowed the seeds of future conflict. The treaty, signed in 1919, imposed harsh penalties on Germany, including territorial losses, disarmament, and crippling reparations payments. While many argued that Germany should be held accountable for its role in the war, the treaty's punitive measures fueled resentment and anger among the German people, creating fertile ground for the rise of nationalism and extremism. The treaty also redrew the map of Europe, creating new nations and exacerbating ethnic